Hi everybody, my name is Ellen. I'm from Equitable Encounters and I am promoting a special for partnering up with you and your equine companion for the month of August. So I thought I would tell you a little story. Last week I went on a horse retreat and I had a horse that I really didn't know. And they are the smartest things ever going. So I really have always struggled with walking a horse on a lead line. There was something always uncomfortable about it. It was always hard for me to relax, be the proper leader for the horse. So this retreat really brought out the energy, my feelings and emotions of how I couldn't step up to be a proper leader for the horse. So this horse would pull me all over the place and I would get so frustrated, but held it in, of course. We did some groundwork in the group setting where we would be told how to move the horse around so once you're on the horse, it would work the same way. So he would be pushing me around and telling me what to do. And for the life of me, I could feel myself shrinking, not being the leader that he needed, and I couldn't stop it. So the facilitator would come and show me how to do what they were asking me to do. And she would put the horse in line to be respectful. And then, of course, as soon as he came back to me, he would be disrespectful again because of my energy, because I wasn't stepping up saying, here, I'm the leader. He was the leader. And for the life of me, I couldn't stop it. And I've never liked having a horse being on the lead line. To me, it was like holding him back, holding me back. So we did another event where we took them off the lead line and you wanted them to partner up with you with not controlling them with anything. So I took him off the lead line and he started galloping and kicking and bucking a little bit. But I felt really comfortable. It was like my energy expanded. I knew what I needed him to do and I got him to do what was needed to be done. And you were partnering up, you were getting with him and you were pretending that you had a lead line on and the horse would follow you. And it was like really amazing. I watched one of the other girls do it and I was like, wow. So, and I did the same thing and it was just so fun. And for me, I felt way different when he was running free. So as the week progressed, as the day progressed, I was getting more upset with myself because I couldn't be who the horse wanted me to be. I went to this retreat looking to have fun. And I did a lot of crying, a lot of crying. And what I was shown was that my boundaries had been crossed a lot as a child, and I did not know how to handle it. I did not know how to express my feelings, my emotions, when people were trying to take advantage of me or pushing me around. So this horse was showing me how much my boundaries were crossed as a child. So he was a blessing in disguise. So luckily enough, there was a therapist and we all got to have individual sessions with her and we had group sessions. So the next day I got to go and have a private session and I had bawled my eyes out through the whole session with her, expressing I knew what he was showing me. I knew my boundaries were crossed. I knew my childhood experience was tough. It was unhealthy. But I didn't know still how to change what was happening with me and the horse. So the next, I guess the last day, then we had a group session with this therapist. And more emotions were coming up for me. So somebody else went first and showed emotions. So by the time it was my turn, I was bawling my head off again. But I couldn't help it. It was like I needed to be heard. I needed to be seen. And this horse triggered every aspect of it. So when I was in the retreat, it was like, I'm not doing very well of knowing how to have fun, to be fun. And in that group session, I just felt like I was less than, I didn't fit in, I didn't belong. I didn't know how to handle the horse properly. And then we got to express the last day what we were letting go and what we were going to take home from that experience of the week. And of course, somebody went before me and they started crying, and then it was my turn, and then I started crying again. And it was like leaving behind the hidden parts of me. It's like this group allowed me the safety to express, to share my true feelings. Because most of the time I've always been hiding, being strong, because I had to take care of myself for most of my life. The parts I left behind was the part of me that always hid how I was really feeling. I allowed that part of me to feel and grieve. I left behind a lot of grief too. I left behind a little more self-judgment because I'm pretty hard on myself. What I took home with me was it was safe and it was okay to be my authentic self, to be and show vulnerability. That the more vulnerable I was, the more vulnerable everybody else showed themselves to be too. And the funny part was, as I was hiding what I was going through, everybody else was hiding their pain, their struggles. And the last day, everybody started expressing what they were struggling with. And it was like it brought the group together even more. So the reason I thought I would post this was partnering up with your horse. There's so many different experiences in our life that happens, and the horse has this inner knowing to pull it out. But we can't always do it and figure it out by ourselves. It's like getting somebody else to see what's happening, to get a different perspective. So for me, a therapist gave me the opportunity to express, to be heard, to be seen, to allow me to grieve my past. I then, once I was home, had a coaching session with somebody else. That's a fantastic coach. And she allowed me to see what happened to me in my past that the horse was representing. I was abused as a child a few times, and I was placed in situations where I couldn't get out. I had no control in what was happening to me. I was forced in a shed and I couldn't leave. I was a kid at that time, that situation. I was 5. Then another experience with a school bus driver. Took me to her home. We drove by my house. She would not let me out of my house. So I was taken to her house, had no idea where she lived. I was 11 at that age, that time, 11, 12. So I thought I was never coming back home. So that was another experience. I had no control. So when the horse was on the lead line, I felt like I was forcing them to not have any control. It was triggering things in me, making me become small, and not knowing how to save myself as a child, and then not knowing how to be a leader for this horse because of that experience, those experiences. So it comes out in different ways. So the retreat experience was an eye-opening for me. That it gave me clarity and understanding. It allowed me the opportunity to heal these painful parts that I didn't know how to heal. When I was in those situations, I would leave my body. So there was, in the coaching session, it took her quite a while to get me to see what was happening. So parts of me was blaming the inner child for being in the situation. And then I had to learn that I didn't know, how can you set a boundary? How can you protect yourself at that age? I had no control. So I had to learn to forgive myself for blaming the child, and to honor the child, and to apologize to the child part of me. So a full healing could take place. So horses are the real deal of showing you how to feel, how to be in the present moment, and to show you the parts of you that isn't real, that's not authentic, that's in pain. And I would love the opportunity to work with individuals, with you and your horse, because I'm able to see and communicate with your horse to bring in the clarity, the understanding, the forgiveness for yourself, for pain or anger or suffering within the horse, so you both come back together to be as one, to shift the energies so you can have more fun together instead of the experience of fighting the push and pull of trying to control your horse trying to control you. So if you're interested, I would love to work with you and your horse.